Good morning, everybody. It's Kim. I wanted to show you what I got done yesterday on Sunday of Memorial Weekend. Now, this part of my little garden, it was planted already, and as you can see, quite a bit is popping up. I do have a lot of cleanup to do. I have quite a pile of weeds back there that need to come out, and some along the fence, but you know, there's only so much physically I can do in a day. And I planted some cucumbers here. This is going to be where all my beans are, and I have pole beans to go up the arch. I planted an entire row. Well, this first one here is zucchini, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tomatoes in this row. I'm not going to go in the garden because my cat's rubbing on me, and he likes to lay on my plants. Then here I have a loofah that I'm going to train up along my fence. And then I have, looks like I'm going to need to water. One's kind of sad out there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tomatoes in here. I grow mostly Roma tomatoes. That first entire row is Roma tomatoes. These are Rutgers. They're an heirloom variety. They're nice slicing tomato that I really like. So I did 2 full rows of tomatoes. Oh, at the end down there is a cherry tomato. I do at least one of those a year. They get so many. It's called Sweet 100. That you don't need more than one. Right here is a butternut squash that I planted. Now all of these I started myself in the house, and I have 3 little green peppers. I don't eat a lot of peppers. They don't like my stomach very well. And then I have 2 pickled zucchinis, and where the feather is sticking up, that is, I think that's cantaloupe. I don't know. I forget now. I have to go look at the tags. And in the back corner over there, I have some heirloom wheat growing. And ouch, Louie. Louie's trying to get my attention. He's scratching my legs. And in the back, I plant my squashes. And there's a Hubbard squash back there and some pumpkins. And I think that's it for that. Over here, where that feather is, I have some watermelon seeds in, and I see ones coming up already. You'll see throughout here a lot of plants popping up. That's a lot of sunflower seeds. I feed those in the winter, and when I put the bedding out here, they pop up, whatever the turkeys didn't eat. And I'll have lots and lots of sunflowers. And those feathers right there, kind of in that square, that's all my sweet corn. I don't need to grow a lot of corn because I have a neighbor just about half a mile down the road, maybe a little more. He grows a lot of sweet corn, and we barter all year. And he likes my eggs, so we barter corn for eggs. And then this is a gooseberry, and those guys need some water. They were moved. Those are cranberries. I'm going to get the hose out and really soak them down today. But anyway, that is what I got done yesterday. Planted all the transplants I put in yesterday, and a few seeds from the one squash and things like that. I did follow the Farmer's Almanac, and it said that yesterday, the day before, and today were the best days for transplanting. So I'm trying to follow it and see what it, just follow it along. Now, yesterday was a very physical day for me, not only planting the garden, because that's a lot of bending, but I cleaned out this mess. If you recall on my previous video, that was that pile of grass right there. And I had to dig it all out, and I dug down pretty deep because it had a lot of the grass. It has those really thick white runners in it, and it was such a mess. I kind of sifted the soil out the best I can. As this dries, I'm going to shake the soil off because it was too wet, and it's going to go back in the garden. The problem I have here is our soil it's really odd. If you try to dig in it when it's dry, it's like impossible. So I had to dig in it when it was wet, and then it was really heavy, and it sticks. It's got a lot of clay. It sticks to everything. So As that dries out, today I'm going to go start at the top. I'm going to shake some of it back in my garden, and then I'll rake it back out. I have to repair the end here. The board rotted off. So I cleaned up the entire 40-foot long bed. And that part, that last 8 feet right there, I had to use a shovel. Otherwise, what I do is I use this thing. It's kind of like, I like this. I only paid $8 for it. You poke it in the ground and you twist it, which I can't do very well with one arm. I twist everything like this, and it cultivates it a little bit, like that. So I go through and I get it as steep as I can. Well, like I said, it was hard in here, so that was very, very physical. I had to put it in and use both arms, twist it, again, pull out any weeds and roots and vines and all that. And the few plants that you see this morning, I'll take you over there. I'm rescuing from a flower bed. I did those this morning. I got up early. It was already 82, and you know, for those that live in the South, that's probably no big deal, but like I said a couple days ago, we went from like 40 to 80 in just a couple of days. So it's kind of a shock, and the humidity shot up terrible. I do have to get a little piece of fence around these guys when they're done blooming, because these are my blueberries, and hopefully I will get to eat some instead of just my turkeys. So that's what I got done yesterday. It may not look like a lot, but it was a lot for this old body, I'll tell you that. Between the bad back, the bad shoulder, the arthritis, that was a very physical job. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. This is going to become a full perennial and herb garden in here. I don't have a whole lot to put in here, but let's go over to the one bed I'm telling you that I'm taking out because it's such a mess. Okay, before I go any further, let me tell you what this contraption is. That hooks up to our gutters, okay? And when we know a lot of rain is coming, first of all, it gets it away from the house. But most importantly, we swing it over to here. Under that rock, there's a hole. And this is a cistern under here. It holds quite a lot of our water that I use for my gardens and such. And right now it's almost full to the top. So we, you know, through that big rain we had the last week, and when it starts getting low, any chance we get rain, we swing that in there and it keeps my cistern full. This little clump here is going to get dug up. This fence, unfortunately, my entire fence that happens to be part of my dog yard, the posts are rotting off. We've been here 5 years. I don't know how long it's been up there. So I'm going to take out that piece of fence where, you know, my dogs are. I'm just going to go from the edge of the porch straight out, and then we'll reclaim part of this, and because we're going to start mowing this this what was a flower bed down, because I just can't control it anymore. It's making me absolutely crazy, and I'll show you why in a second here. But all of these are going to get put into that bed. And one of the other things I'm going to rescue shortly is this is a peony, a beautiful pink peony, and I'm going to divide that into 2 or 3 clumps and plant that back there. See this stuff? I actually physically dug as much out as I could last year. If you leave the tiniest piece of root in the ground, it comes back with a vengeance. I spent months digging every piece out trying to save my flower garden, and this is what comes back. I just can't fight it anymore. I don't like to use Roundup. I don't even know where my plants are in here anymore. I'm going to mow it down, and in the spring I can get out here early when I start to see things popping up again and rescue the last bits that are in here. I found that other stuff back there, so the peony has to come out. Those bushes there, it's on a separate flower bed. I'm going to try to clean that one up and maybe save that for flowers, because I like to look out my kitchen window and see the flowers. But I rescued that fern and the rose bush. Oh, the rose bush came out of there, and that fern came out of there that I planted. But all of this mess, I had flowers I brought that I have collected for almost 30 years. They all got choked out. Nothing could grow in here. And I was so disappointed. Some of those things I brought moved from my first house to my second house, brought them here, and they're gone. So this entire mess has to go. Just can't take it anymore. I'm going to dig out these timbers. Like I said, we're going to reclaim part of that dog yard. My dogs don't go outside that long. And there is, see that tall stuff right on the fence? That's some kind of flower. I'll take some of that over there, but it spreads a lot, so I don't need a lot. I'm going to rescue these irises here. I think that's all that's in this section. Of course, I'll come through here really careful and look. I have somewhere back there I found a, oh, it's down here, another hosta. But I'm going to take as much of this little ground cover here, and I'm going to make it as the base of that other garden. I'm going to let it go, around all of the plants. There's a hosta right there that I need to rescue. There's a little geranium right there, wild geranium that I'm going to rescue. And last year I dug out as many plants as I could find and moved them to my daughter's house. This is a daylily I'm going to take and divide up. That's a comfrey. And then I think the last thing I have left is this red sedum right here. And I moved some of this to other parts of the yard, but I just can't fight this anymore. So, you got to pick your battles when you get older, and this is not a battle that I'm ever going to win. And I just don't want this mess. I don't like it. It makes it hard to mow through here because of the rocks and everything. So I think I'm going to take those timbers and see if we can move them maybe along the driveway to keep the rocks in a little bit and to keep the weeds from starting to creep into the driveway. But we'll see what kind of shape they're in. I don't know. But that's my job for the next couple of days. It's going up in the high 90s or high 80s, but the humidity is like 95 out today. And I can only come out for a short time and dig. But as soon as I turn this off, I'm going to come out and I'm going to dig up a few things and get them moved over to the other part. And I'll show you in a day or two what I have going on there. Now don't forget, I also have to do all my animal chores and things like that. So it was a long day yesterday. I think I was out here at least 9 hours with a couple of half-hour breaks in there. But I really enjoy being outside. This is my passion. I just see another little tiny. I just found a little hosta. Gotta find a hosta. I'm going to rescue right here. Look, I'm going to rescue him as soon as I get off of here. That's why I need to come through here and look real careful. I'm going to take the weed whacker and weed whack all this down. And most things pop up a little bit faster than the bishop's weed, but at least I'll be able to see better because their stems are long, and if I could see the other green at all. But anyway, that's it. That's my update for yesterday. That was Sunday of Memorial Weekend. Garden planted and that one bed cleaned out. Makes me really happy to see it done. I had several visits from our hummingbird. We got a feeder right there. I want to plant a bunch of whatever I could find that hummingbirds like. I want to plant some in there. The little guy, he cracks me up. If that feeder is empty and he sees us by the back door, he buzzes in front of the door. He's been doing this since we moved here. He will fly up and down in front of the door and then to the feeder, back in front of the door, buzz you a few times, back to the feeder, and then he comes back in a half hour, and if it's not full, he'll repeat it again. So he has me very well trained, that little hummingbird. We have 3 that I see on a regular basis. And until I moved here, I never saw a hummingbird in real life. And it's so cool to sit here and watch them at the feeder. I just love it. Anyway, enough rambling for today. I will see you again soon. Before I forget, I can't say this enough. I was very proud to say that I went over 500 subscribers, and I appreciate every single one of you stopping in to see my little place. You have no idea how much that means to me. Recently, I had a fairly large jump in subscribers. Thank you, Mornings with Granny. She had some of her subscribers jump over to give me a shout out. And I'm going to be doing a giveaway. I'm getting it together for you, and keep an eye out. I'll have it posted within the next week or so. I think it's something you're going to like. It's not going to be a major thing right now. I can't get to the stores, and we're still on quarantine in Michigan until June 14th or something like that, 16th, 14th. I don't even know anymore. So I'm going to have to use what I have here. But I just want to thank you all so very much for your support, and I'm just happy to have you here. So give me a week or so, and I'll get a nice giveaway up for you guys. And I hope you all have a wonderful day.